Bethany TV, for health.
Happy New Year again. I don't think I'll get tired wishing you Happy New Year, even though we've moved some few weeks into the New Year, but it's very prudent and very okay to keep saying Happy New Year. We are still celebrating the New Year and thanking God for the past year and saying, hey, we are here living and looking at achieving our dreams, our goals. And this is also to say that for those who set goals and didn't achieve them last year, it's not all over. We have to relook at what went wrong and pick the good practices that we had last year, and we can reset those goals. But anyway, Happy New Year and you're welcome to Back to Basics. My name is Moses and this is Bethany TV for Health. For those who are tuned in live on Star Times 271, Free Air, Go TV, and also on different social media platforms. You're all welcome, and you can also join us on www.bethanytv.ug and watch live a program. This is Back to Basics. This is the show that has done the same things but differently last year by bringing different topics which look at our lives and what we can do better, and most importantly bringing experts that share expert views and generally the way how we live lives together. You're very much welcome, and this evening I'm very much delighted to welcome Charles Senaburia. Charles Senaburia is a community counselor, and he is someone that we have been or has been coming to Back to Basics to share with us on different aspects of life. And here again in this new year 2024, we have a Charles appearing in the second week. You're very much welcome, Charles.
Thank you, Moses.
And good to see you, my brother.
Good to see you too. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, Charles.
Happy New Year to our viewers. Yes, I was about to mention 2023.
It's
still in my mind.
It's still in the mind. Is it because of the many resolutions you did not achieve, or you haven't shifted properly to 2024?
I haven't. I'm still collecting myself to come to 2024.
Yes.
Because I believe there are a number of things that I was supposed to finish in 2023 that I still have to carry. You know, this concept of time,
yes,
a year has ended, and then I have to move on in the next year. It is just a limit of the dates. But to me, sometimes I look at it as a continuous process. So it doesn't put me off. If there are certain things that I was moving on with in 2023, I carry just them on, because I don't stop because the year is finished.
Yes.
I just carry on because now, for me, I just look at it as a continuous day. Someone was telling me, I think on first someone told me, I thought I was going to wake up and the day is different, seeing some kind of change to show that now there was a different year, kind of a demarcation, that now the other one is different here, but same things, just the calendar changing and the dates. But we are here, we are live.
Yes,
we are happy.
That's true, Charles, and you're very much welcome, and definitely we always delighted to have you here as we discuss different aspects of lives. People give testimonies about the things they learn, the knowledge they get from the discussions we have, and I think that's the way to go. And this evening we want to continue looking at resolutions, setting goals, and what really happens in case you do not achieve all your goals. As you set goals, sometimes you can fail to meet 100% the goal that you've set. You can achieve some. You can just meet some of the expectations and then you fail on others, or you can meet the expectations fully, or you can even exceed. But the fact remains, when you don't meet these expectations, because for everyone to set goals and set resolutions, no one sets it with the aim of failing. No, everyone sets with the aim of passing and meeting
Yes.
that goal, the target, hitting the target.
Yeah.
But sometimes, even those who are firing the arrows, they may not hit the point they are firing at. There are things, it can be wind, they can be other things, external factors that can disrupt the arrow as it goes to hit the target. But that's not the original aim. Now, my puzzle and my concern is when we fail to do this, how do we perceive it? And that's why today, particularly, we want to continue and look at anxieties that come when you actually fail to meet expectations or to meet the goals that you have set. So that's our topic today, ladies and gentlemen, managing anxieties that come from previous failures. You're very much welcome, and in the studio with Charles, we'll continue to discuss, understand, and dig deep, and bring the whole perspective of what is this a failure. Okay. And what impact does it bring on one's life? But start with Charles as we introduce the show. Talking of anxieties or anxiety, this is the term that we've had, anxiety, and then fear. What is the difference between these two?
Okay, thank you very much, Moses. And I will start by thanking you for the work you do. This program is changing lives of people, it's touching people, and people are, are giving testimonies like you said, and those ones that I've made, I've discussed with, they are learning a lot from here. So this is very great that we have such topics.
Thank you. Thank you, Charles.
Yeah, you've introduced it very well. Anxieties and fears. Sometimes you may think they are related, they are close to each other, but they differ. Fear is a kind of worry that, or a threat that comes with something that has already been perceived or has existed. For example, if we're in this studio and immediately lights go off, we have fear. What is going to happen? Maybe you've been walking, or then you get an accident. There is that fear. It has happened. That fear that gets you. But with anxiety, it is that fear or worry that happens on something that is expected to happen and it has not yet happened. And actually, it may not even happen. It is not necessary that it's going to happen. It may not even happen, but you think of it. For example, you may be here, and then you hear that maybe there is a roadblock somewhere where you're going to pass. You don't know whether by the time you reach there, the roadblock will be there, or it will be gone, or it will get you, or it will not get you, but you start getting worried. How am I going to manage this? How am I going to go about it? That kind of worry, that kind of fear, that is what we call anxiety. You become anxious. You don't know whether it is going to happen. Actually, when we talk of anxiety, it is something that is in the future. We are just looking at it in the future. It may happen,
it may not
happen.
So as students who have sat for exams, like now we have quite a number that have done O-level and A-level. Actually, P7, sorry, results?
Yeah, P7, not yet.
Not yet.
Actually, they are the ones that we are expecting.
So those students now, we can say, like a student who has sat for these exams and is waiting for the results.
Now that is
not sure
anxiety.
If he will or she will pass or fail.
That is anxiety.
That's anxiety.
Now, when the results come and they receive them,
you fail,
and there is F9,
God forbid.
Now that is when the fear comes. How do I address this to my dad?
Now that's the fear.
That is the fear. But before, when you hear the results are coming back, now the anxiety starts coming. How are they going to be? Oh, I failed. Now you start remembering the numbers that you misfired, what you did right, That is now anxiety. Now when they come...
Or the time you used to waste by not reading and things came that you have in your book, but you didn't read.
Yes. You start remembering the teacher's statements. Please read, please read.
Yeah, teacher's statements.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that.
That is now anxiety.
That's a whole of some good situation that we all went through.
Yeah, but when they come back,
yes,
and now you have the results, and they are not the ones you expected, now the real fear comes in, because now you have to address these results to your parents. You've got to face your parents, you've got to face your friends. Now, there can also be anxiety there, because now you are like, how are they going to react? Now that is now anxiety, because you don't know how they're going to react. You start saying, they have killed me, Banzisi. By the time I reach home, they have finished me. And you may
That is anxiety now.
That is anxiety, because you don't know whether it's going to happen or to happen. But you may reach home, and they say it's okay.
And your father understands.
Yeah, let us find another plan.
Or the blame is shifted and say, you see, teachers of nowadays, exams were hard, and you're like, oh.
That one always comes with the students, because immediately, because when anxiety comes in, we immediately develop a flight or a fight mode. So we have to find a certain defense that is going to help me. Yeah, so when I realized I have an F9 in mathematics, I started thinking of what am I going to say. And immediately I reached, hey, that the results are back. But if it was not for that math teacher who always came late, I was going to get to pass well.
Now that's a fight.
Now you're trying to present with a fight.
With a fight.
Yeah, such that the other anxiety, what you've been anxious about, doesn't come true.
Doesn't come true.
You defended.
Thank you very much, Charles. As we continue to first look at these concepts clearly and understand them. Anxiety, fear. Now another concept is failure. I know someone can say it, to fail is not to succeed, but as a psychologist, take us through failure.
Failure, like you've said, someone may say it's not to succeed, but it is a concept within you, you as a person. What do you regard as failure? I have failed. What measures are you considering to say that I have failed? Sometimes you think I have failed because you're measuring yourself. I'm measuring myself with Moses. Okay?
That's kind of a relative comparison.
I say I'm going to play football, but I want to score like Mbappe. Okay? Now I go, I fail to score a goal. But I create a chance. Mbappe scores 4 goals. And then I say I failed. According to my abilities, I have not failed, but psychologically, there is that thing that tells me that you are a failure. But when I look into it, sure, I have not failed. I have done something according to my abilities.
So a student who gets B at A level, for example, and one gets AAA, so using that concept of relative comparison, the person of BBB might consider himself as herself have failed.
Yeah, I failed. And even other people will say, hey, that one failed, the other one passed.
The other one passed.
But when we get these two, we put them in the field to play football. The other one of AA will fail even to kick the ball from maybe one goal post to the center. And this one will even take it to the other goal post. So where is the failure? Now, everyone, you have to base failure according to a person's ability. You cannot guarantee me a failure in a field where I don't have my ability. Okay? I may have limited ability in written exams, and when it comes to oral, you will never beat me. Okay? So, regarding yourself a failure, it depends on what perceptions you have and what measures you have put. That's what makes you a failure or not. realizing that this thing has not worked the way I expected, to me, I don't call myself a failure.
Let me just bring this example.
Yes.
2023, Charles, you set your goal like you're going to buy a car. And you even specify the mode of the car and the type and etc. 2023. December 30th, nothing like any wheel, not even a spare part of a car. That is one instant. Another one, you set the goal of I'll buy a car in 2023, and you say maybe I'll need a Benz convertible, whatever. But then stuff happens and you've just managed a lower model. I just don't want to use, but some Toyota something. Now, according to what I understand, both have failed to hit the target. So do we consider that absolute failure?
You see, when we are setting our targets, we have standards that we look into before we consider ourselves failures. Was my target realistic? You see, we shall discuss also the goals.
Yes.
Setting goals. Somewhere we shall see that when you're setting a goal, your goal must be smart. It must be specific, as we shall look at it, but I want to bring out something that is realistic and attainable. You know you are earning. Your earning cannot even support you buying fuel. You're making a plan of buying a car. Why don't you first plan on increasing your finances, okay, such that you can be able to buy at least fuel? So, to me, I don't regard this person as a failure, but he did not plan well. Did not plan well. Did not plan, I mean the goal he set or she set was not realistic. You know, you yourself, the amount you have cannot afford to buy a Range Rover Sport.
But because you have seen it,
you've seen your neighbor has
seen it around town, or maybe have seen it on TV or somewhere else, and you've loved it. You're like, wow.
That is the one I want.
That's the one I want.
Why don't you go with the VTs? Because that is still your
Because
level.
you don't want it.
You don't want it, but that is your level. That's your level. If you don't want it, now set goals that are going to help you improve on your income. Okay? Now that should be the first goal. The first goal is, how do I improve on my income such that I deserve now, or I'm worth getting the other Range Rover Sport that I want. You cannot come from nowhere, you don't even have a bicycle, and then you are dreaming of driving a Range Rover Sport because you've seen someone driving it. No.
Yeah, because inspirational speakers tell us to dream big, Charles.
Yes, dream big,
and
but
we dream big, so we can achieve big.
Yes, it is very true to dream big, and you will achieve big, but you must be realistic in the way you dream.
Realistic here is the word. Anyway, Charles, as we continue, definitely we'll go to anxieties that come from that failure. But before that, I think it's very important to delve into the perception of failure, because you brought in something when you say that actually failure is in the mind. So the moment you brought in the mind, it's kind of told me that there is some perception that is involved. So I think it's very important to go deeper and explore how do we perceive, or how do different people perceive failure.
Yes, that is very wonderful.
Yes, allow me, Charles, as we go to that perception and failure, to first have a very short break, and then we'll come back and continue. But ladies and gentlemen, we are still discussing anxieties that come from failures or previous failures, and we've taken time to describe and understand these concepts: anxiety, fear, and failure. And after the break, we'll continue and look at perceptions and how do people perceive a failure. In the studio, I have Charles. For now, let's have a very short break and we will come back. Anxieties that come from previous failures. Sometimes I think this is something that is, I can't say inevitable, but I can say unavoidable. Because somehow, somewhere, as we set targets, there are very many forces that can come and act against our endeavors to achieve those targets, and sometimes you get failure. But I've liked what Charles has talked about, that failure is only in the mind. And maybe as we continue with this topic, we'll look at how do we manage anxieties, and we make sure that however much they do exist, but how do we manage them, especially from the previous failures. But for now, let's continue and look at the perceptions, or how do different people perceive failure. With me is Charles in the studio, and this is live on Bethan TV for Health. Charles, perceptions.
Yes, welcome back, our viewers, from that break. We are still talking about managing anxiety from previous failures, and now we are looking at perceptions that come with the failure, and these are the ones that now lead to the anxieties that people have, or are the ones that can help you overgo the anxieties. So we are going to look at them in two different ways. There are some that are positive, and there is a positive view of the failure, and then the negative view of the failure. Which one would you like us to start with?
Let's start with the negative.
The negative ones. Okay, that's wonderful.
And then we...
Yes. You see, with failure, when it happens, no one wants to fail.
That's true.
No one wants to fail. But when it comes, especially our community, especially our families, there is a way they view it, and they can stigmatize you when you have failed in something. Back then, I don't remember the exact year, but I don't think they are more than 2 years. Mm-hmm. There is a girl who did not perform well in her PLE, and I think she had kind of grown. That girl did not perform well. I think those are the people, the products of COVID, those ones who did their PLE.
So that's
during
about
the COVID season. Yeah. 2020. Those who did, actually they did their exams.
2020 exams came in
2021.
2021. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, that girl did not perform well. It became a topic at home. It became a great topic at home, abusing her of her age, comparing her age with her results. And this girl ended up committing suicide.
Oh.
She killed herself.
Yeah, I remember. May her soul rest in peace.
These are situations that happen. But like I told you, Moses, before you say that this person is stupid, this child is stupid because has failed in exams, have you tried this person in a different area? Because we force them. I will call it forcing them. This child has tried from P1 to P7. This child is trying to show you that you're just pushing me. But these things are, this is not my area. But probably when you put this girl in cooking, she will prepare the best food. Everyone will enjoy at home. Why don't you try, you know? So people view it as someone who can never do anything in life because you have failed in only one aspect. Then the community will tag you as a useless and a person who will never do anything in life, which is very bad. You find that even us ourselves, there are certain things we call, something we call thinking distortions. And there is one that we call all or nothing thinking, whereby you say, I either achieve it or I have failed. There is no middle part. If I've not achieved, then I have failed. Not leaving any gap for a trying period. You have not left that gap. So, the only thing you're looking at, I am a failure. Very many people, do you follow politics, Moses?
Yes, yes.
Have you seen politicians who stand for the
not
first
so
time?
fanatically, but at least I'm aware of
You
the
may not be
political
a politician,
environment.
but at least you follow. You're like
yes, I am aware of the political
I'm not-
environment. Yes, definitely, yes.
There are some politicians I've seen who have stood for different positions several times. Every other time they have been standing, maybe stood the first time, things didn't work out. They stood the second time, and things didn't work. The third time they get, and they lead. But there is this person who has a thought of, once I have failed,
It
it is gone. Nothing more.
has failed.
Yeah.
Just try something else.
Or nothing. I either have it or I don't have it. I have either achieved or I have failed. You cannot even help this person. Say, no, we can still do something. No. I have failed.
Why do you think that comes up? Is it because of the limited resources and someone maybe says, I have already invested or put in a lot of these resources and therefore if this has refused, I don't have to repeat it. Is it something related to that or it's something that is in the mind?
Sometimes it is in the mind and the esteem, our esteem. Your esteem may be low, and when you try something and doesn't work out, and the next you come into another thinking distortion which we call labeling. You label yourself failure, political failure. I remember in school they used to call children like that. That one is a political failure. And he never even bothered, even if you give that person to be a classmate, I will not allow. He has adopted
The label.
the label. I'm a failure. Those are thinking distortions that come with failure. What they have said, it is okay. I'm a failure.
You will never achieve anything.
You will never achieve anything. I have, in the rehabilitation center where I work, I always meet different people who have brought for rehabilitation, and someone tells you, you see Charles, they have brought me here, but this is useless. They are wasting their money. My question is why? Tells you, do you know the number of times I've tried this thing and I've failed? I tried it the other time, I even spent a year sober, and then I went back. I gave up. This is now my fate. You get it? This is my fate. You tried the business in maybe, or we know, the year you started it, they burnt the market. That is my fate. I'm not meant to be.
I'm not a business person.
I'm not a business person. Maybe you made a loss once. I'm not a business person. So you have labeled yourself because.
But isn't that a genuine kind of... isn't that person coming from... because those are facts.
They are facts.
They are facts. If a person tells you, I've done this for 1 year, now I'm back. I've been making losses in business. Maybe that's not my calling. Those are facts. And the person is speaking from facts.
Yes, that's very true. But now, when we are looking at failure in that kind of concern, we look at how did you start this business. Probably you had the information about this business, someone told you about this business. Probably you also went and did something, but you have the interest in it, you have the abilities, but you have not, there is something you have not yet done better. Okay? And probably if you give it time, you will achieve. There are some people who have quit job after another, a job after another, a job after another. Because you try this, it doesn't work. You move away. You got something, I fail. So you have a lot of experience, but with none you have mastered. You've mastered none. But you have been doing a number of things and you have not mastered anything. Why? Because you don't have the resilience. With success, you must be resilient with the situations. Learning that this thing happened, what made it to happen this way? If I really love this, I have to give it time. Moses, not everyone who quits business, they don't want what they are doing. I will give, I will accept or agree with someone who says, you know what, Charles? I went in business, but for sure, my friend yansomera mudiru. Someone just told me before, but really I didn't have.
I didn't see how
I didn't even have interest in it. I didn't even take time, but I just went there because someone told me before. That one I agree. Quit it and go in what you have experience with, or you can understand better, or you have passion, or you are passionate about. That one I understand 100%. But this person who took time to start this business and started it, okay, with passion, is passionate about this thing, and you tell me because it didn't work the first time, you're quitting it. No. I think you're just a fearful person, and you don't want to try to keep working out, to keep working it out.
To keep working it out.
Yeah.
Don't you think, looking at the topic we are discussing and the previous definition and explanation of anxiety that you've given to us now, looking at that person who has done, for example, business, the first business, it failed. And now the second business, it's actually in the same footsteps like the other previous business that failed. Wouldn't you think it's prudent for that person really to have that anxiety of expecting that this business will go down the drain the same way?
Now that takes us to how positive we can view the previous failure. When you fail in something, failure is not bad at certain moments. It is just a point that shows you that probably you were taking a wrong maybe turn. First, go back, check yourself. What didn't go well? Where did I go wrong? What did I do in a way that I was not supposed to do? Exactly. You can find out, is there anything I did that I was not supposed to do? Or there is something I didn't do, but I was supposed to do it. Check your abilities. When I went to do this thing, was it within my abilities? Okay? Because you're going to get stressed if you don't do something that is within your abilities. Check yourself. Until I came, I wanted to be a journalist, or I wanted to be a TV presenter. But did I have the abilities to do this? Probably I'm a stammerer, or I have issues with my speech. And whenever I go in the studio, it takes me like 5 minutes to pronounce a word, and the producer says, please.
Cut.
Yes. It means that, yes, I had the passion, but what I did...
It's not backed by the ability.
It is not backed by my abilities. I'm not a failure.
But you need...
I'm not a failure.
You need retooling and reorientation.
I may not
to
exactly come back to that exact position, but I now look at where is my ability. Now I will say, okay, if I still want to work in the media fraternity, where else can I go? Because stammering, if I'm a stammerer, I will not improve that. That is natural in me. Where else can I be? Can I be a photographer? Can I go into the control room? You know, I want to remain in the same, but now I'm looking at where are my abilities. When you fail, look at your passions also. Are you passionate about the thing you have been doing? Sometimes people do things because someone is doing it. I have my little girl who one day told me wants to do mass communication.
That's your daughter?
No, it's a child I taught.
Okay.
I taught her somewhere now. She's in senior 5. She wanted to do mass communication. But when I sat with her to tell me exactly what she feels like, and she told me, you know what, people who do mass communication, they are rich. They are rich. When you look at them on TV, they are very well dressed, have money, yeah, they drive. I told her now that is the starting point of you failing. Because you are not doing it with passion. You're not going there with passion. You're going there because they told you there is money. And one day, if you happen to meet one of them and discuss with them, they will tell you exactly what happens there. You may be that the money you are looking for, you're not going to harvest it that every other day you appear on TV, you are going to be harvesting money. But do you have the passion? So when this person comes and is in the media fraternity for 1 year, and is not seeing the money that he expected, I'm a failure. You see, those of Moses are doing well. For me, I've been in this thing. I'm not, you know, because you didn't go there with passion. Everything you're doing, you're not doing it with passion, but you're doing it
with the aim of getting money.
Of getting money.
Which may not come as immediate as you would wish. I agree with you, Charles. And we're supposed to look at the positives.
Yes.
So those are some of the positive perception of failures, right?
Yes. Now with positive, we are now trying to see how do we start again.
How do we start again?
When I fail something, it is not my end. I'm looking at how do I launch the next start.
Learning from the past.
From the past.
Mistakes and...
If I own a shop and I realize at the end of a certain period I'm making losses, I come back and I check. I do my inventory. Where did things go wrong? Probably I was giving a lot of things on date. Maybe the way I was using my weighing scale, I didn't have the skills. It was oversitting. Okay? So they were taking a kilogram. Instead of a kilogram, they take a kilogram with other grams. So now I start learning, okay.
Or you were dealing in merchandise that you're not comfortable with, probably that you don't understand.
Yeah. Or I went and purchased the things that are not needed in the community where I am. I'm now viewing as...
You've ventured into fashion and this kind of boutique because you know it's trending, but then you have any sense of fashion and...
So now from this, you start to look at failure as a learning point. Okay?
That's the positive perception.
Yes, a positive perception. It is a learning point that, okay, so when I moved like this, I crashed. Therefore, let me now change my footsteps.
To something that I can do better. Thank you very much for pointing that out. But Charles, as we conclude, we know that, like you described anxiety as the fear of the unknown, regardless of your understanding and having a positive perception. But the past mistakes, like I said, they are facts that really ring in your mind of like, oh, I dated a brown lady, let me just use that example, and things didn't go the right direction. And now this is the same exact brown lady, and you see some signs start coming. If you, for example, you are supposed to meet and she would come late, now this one is also coming late, just using that as an example. But definitely there are many, many examples, especially from the goals we set, that you experience a failure, and somehow, even if you try to stand strong, and have to be positive and everything, but things ring in your mind that's, wow, hey, the way how things are moving, if you again step your foot in this, you're going to lose money, you're going to lose your time, you're growing, and therefore you are like, this is something I shouldn't venture into, which you have termed as anxiety, and I can't say it's the fear of the unknown. So regardless of all those, living positively or having a positive perception towards failure and etc., but you still have that anxiety. As a psychologist, as we conclude, how do we manage these anxieties, and we make sure that we either minimize them or erase them, and we relaunch our goals and plans, and we move forward?
Yes, the first thing is to realize that when I fail, it is not the end of the world. The first thing I have to do is to remove all the negative thoughts that I may have, the ones we called the thinking distortions, things that interchange your thoughts from the positive, and then you start viewing yourself negatively. Ladies and gentlemen who are viewing, everyone has ever failed in this world. But now what makes a difference between people who move on and succeed, from those who fail and they don't get up, it is that these people who succeed, who continue, they always learn from their mistakes and they rise up. They never remain down. They never remain down. Once you start getting ideas and fears from the previous experiences, and then you want to bring them in the new experiences, you are now not going to move on. Let the other ones come as lessons, that the last time I did this, things didn't work out well. Probably now let me do the other than quitting. Because quitting it is not going to help you. How many times will you keep quitting? You need a certain moment to be, to stand and persevere through these hardships until you reach where you want to go. You ever dated someone? For example, you dated a certain girl of a certain name, and then you meet another girl of a different, of the same name. Of the same name. And you carry the burdens you had with the other person, and then you are putting them on this person. That is something very wrong. View this person as someone who is new. However, don't repeat the past mistakes. Whenever you fail, the first thing you ever do to avoid you struggling, first get the failure, the event, come into terms with it, understand, check your own contributions to that failure. Because Moses, the problem we continue with this anxiety is because when we fail, we don't find out what our own contribution in this failure is. We start now the blame games. If it was not for Moses, I wouldn't do this. If it was not for so-and-so. And you fail to get your exact contribution towards this. That means that even if you do something new, the same thing will happen. And you remain in the same kind of anxieties and and stresses. Why? Because you have not cleared the mess. You are still the same person moving with that thing you have refused to clear. You're moving in a denial kind of, you have refused to accept the fact that you had a contribution that you needed to change in this other new journey. It is very important to note that out. It is also another thing that we need to do to make sure that we deal away with these anxieties.
Yeah.
Is to accept support. To accept support. When we realize that maybe we have had a failure in an aspect, it is good to ask for people to support you. There is nothing you're going to do, Moses, in this world, and you're the first person to do it. Probably, maybe, you may think of something, but most of the times it is hard to do something that you are the first person to do it. Within your community, there are people who have done that thing, and they have been successful. You may not ask them to do it for you, but go and consult. How did you do this? When I tried it, I found here and here a problem. So for you, have you ever, how did you go through this step? Such that this person helps you. Support helps you also to know, okay, so if I had done this, probably. Go and try it out. You never know. It may give you the best results other than being in a worry. Yeah.
Wow, that's very insightful, Charles, and that's very, very good advice that you've given to us in terms of managing anxieties, because yes, they really do come, and you're right, when these anxieties come, we always tend to look at external factors and we exonerate ourselves from contributing to events that lead to your failure.
We make ourselves a saint, and every other person a problem in this
thing, and I think that is something that we can learn from at this discussion. So as we conclude, Charles, what are your last words to the viewers as we try to end our program?
My last words to the viewer is failure at some moments is normal in business, because it gives us directions, and in life it gives us direction. It helps you to know that probably I've not been moving well, I need to retreat and make a certain other move that will help me reach where I want to go. Fear and anxieties are also normal. Are also normal because they are responses to the situations. But when you see them getting worse, please get help. Get help. We are here to help you. You can reach out to us for support. You can reach out to people within your community for support, because these are things that can put you back down and you never even stand up to do anything, especially when you have kind of low self-esteem. This thing can put you down and then you never even come up to do anything. You label yourself and you remain down forever. So it is very important you come up and we support you.
Well, thank you very much, Charles Senaburia. Like I said, Charles is a community counselor, and right now he works with a rehabilitation firm, helping and supporting people in the community, and we are privileged to have him here on Back to Basics as we share and understand some of these concepts that happen in our lives. For example, fear, anxiety, and we all do mistakes. We've all tried out things and things have failed, but he is saying that's not all over. You must positively perceive a failure as a learning platform and then take it from there and move forward and also get support. Thank you very much. We do much appreciate, and our viewers, thank you very much for sparing your time and tune in at this time of the night. I know it's not a waste, because there is much that you learn, and I always say that knowledge is power. Therefore, strive to get that knowledge at whatever cost. So thank you very much for being part of this. This is Back to Basics live on Bethan TV for Health, the TV that prioritizes your health in different aspects of life. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time. I remain Moses. Bye-bye.